Hello, hello. All right, your question today is, would you rather be raised by a robot or by an alien? Okay, this has been Robot Week. You guys have had some really fun videos and activities that you've already been doing this week. And so today is no exception. I have a fun one for you today too. But let's kind of start at the very beginning and talk about what is a robot in the first place. A robot is a machine that does tasks as a substitute for a person, and it does things that it was designed to do. A robot can either be controlled by a human to perform these tasks, or it can be programmed to perform the tasks without a human even being involved. Many people think of robots as like very human looking, you know, like in science fiction stuff, that's a lot what we see, and robots look and act like a human. But in fact, that is not very common. That most robots do not look like people. Most robots look like whatever the purpose that that people are wanting to accomplish through robots, they have a convenient look for that purpose. Robots are used to handle tasks that are difficult, dangerous, or sometimes even boring for humans. And also, some robots are purely for entertainment and for fun. The robot that we're going to be focusing on today is called a robotic arm. Now, robotic arms are real robots that are used daily all throughout our planet. And they can be used for really important things like surgery. They can be used to treat injuries. They are used in like car manufacturing plants and industrial factories. Even the military and defense can use robotic arms. And so it's a very common design and style of robot, and it's really cool. And so we're going to get to explore that today. A robotic arm is a mechanical arm that is very similar to a human arm, and it has different joints. Like our joints are everywhere that we can move. Like we have a joint in our elbow, allows us to move. We have a joint in our wrist. Our fingers have multiple different joints. Every place that like we can bend and move, that's a joint. And that's what robotic arms have too. They're designed to have multiple different movements and bends and everything. And in fact, I'm going to show you a couple examples right now. And here's the robotic arm that you get to make. To drill holes in the sticks, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stack all of your sticks up like this. Then once you get them all stacked, wrap the rubber band around each end to get it to hold its place really well, and then you're going to just use the drill to make a hole in the middle and one on each end. Depending on the size of drill bit that you use to drill your holes, that's going to determine if you're going to use the wooden skewers or the toothpicks. I sized my holes so that it would work with the wooden skewer, so I'm not using the toothpicks, but again, you're welcome to. Okay, so when you cut these, this does not have to be an exact measurement because we're going to go and trim them up later, but if you will notice, when you are cutting these, if you are not protecting what you're cutting, they're gonna go flying. So I usually try to put my fingers on each end, and then it cuts really, really easily. I don't know, however many joints you're planning on having in your arm. I'm gonna just make a whole bunch, and then if I use them, great, here we go. So I lined these two up and I stuck one of the plugs here in the middle, and you can see that they can move flexibly. All right, now I'm going to take another one of these plugs and put it in there. Now if you start to have issue with yours going through, you always can go back with your drill and you can kind of go over that hole a couple of times and kind of stretch it out and widen it out if you need to. So I have that in there. I'm going to put another plug in here and then add this one. How about I just do this on time lapse so it doesn't take forever to see it. Pick which side of your arm you want to be the grabber, the end that's going to actually pick up things. I think I'm going to do that end. And then take a popsicle stick that you haven't used yet, and you're just going to cut off, I don't know, about an inch or so. That's going to be kind of the little fingers of the grabber. And then cut also on the end. Now you don't have to have one of the ends like rounded or anything, but I think it just looks nicer, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I have my two ends here. I'm going to put some hot glue there, some hot glue there. Carefully, I'm going to put my grabber in there, my other one there, and there we go. Now take your plier cutters and you're just going to snip off any extra of the plug that you have. I still leave a little tiny bit of space between the popsicle stick and the plug, but yeah, just go through and snap off all sides. So attaching the handles have proven to be the most difficult part of this, and also slightly the most dangerous too. What I was wanting to do was get the lids, and you cut a hole in there, and in that hole, that's kind of, you hold it like scissors, you hold the hand like scissors, and you kind of can control the robotic arm like scissors. But a sharp blade is very dangerous, and also these soda bottle lids are so thick and hard to cut into. So I do not recommend trying to cut the middle out of a soda bottle because it is dangerous, and I have a few cuts on my fingers to prove it. So I recommend not doing that. I recommend either not using one, because this operates just fine just by holding the sticks, or if you have a bottle cap, you can just glue it to the stick like this and stick your finger in it. I managed to cut a slit into that. I don't know if you can see it, but this was really difficult, and that's where my cuts came from, so I don't recommend that unless you come up with a better way, or just use a thinner lid, like a milk carton lid or any sort of lid that would be better than a soda bottle lid, because these are so thick. But this is science, we make mistakes, and I'm showing you my mistakes. You guys can be inventive and use whatever works for you for a handle, or don't use a handle. And now, it's time to put this puppy to the test. I got my toys up there in the corner. I have my robotic arm here. Let's see if I can pick up a dino. And I did it! Woo! Alrighty, that's about it. There's a really great website if you guys want any more robot resources. It is robots.ieee.org. I'm going to include it right after this so you'll be able to see it. But it's really great. We use this in 5th grade, but all grades would really like it. So I hope you guys have time to look at it. Anyway, it's alive. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week.